Yep. So today we'll talk about why do we judge. Okay. Um, Judging is one of the very common thing that everyone does. It might look also simple. Yeah, we know everyone knows why do we judge, but one thing, uh, there are certain things we don't even understand why we judge, right? And also, since kids are also growing, it's important for the kids also to understand the reason behind why we judge, and when we understand the reason behind why we judge, we make the right judgment. It's not that you don't judge it, but we make the right judgment. So the verse I got is exactly opposite of what I said now, is about judge not, right? But there are multiple things that are there, like yes we should judge, yes we should not judge, but can we really judge or should we not judge? These are all the questions that always pops up in my mind. But even before we talk, why do we judge? Why should we even not judge ourselves? Because there's a verse that says you should not judge yourself as well, right? So let's talk about this. I have sent the slide. Let's talk about this and then we'll get into that. Okay, so we actually talked many things that I'm about to talk, right? We all know, since the judgment topic is very common, not just with Christian belief, right? Out there in the world, there is a reason why there are there's a book of Judges in Bible, right? And there is also a reason why there are judges in this world, right? The reason why we need to have judges at the very high level, right? See, when a judge is there, why should he judge? What is the purpose behind that he should judge? We all talk about how we judge, right? The reason we judge, but the purpose of why he should judge, and from that purpose, how should he judge? You guys get it? There is a purpose why there is a judgment. Judgment is here only because of the fall. Okay, the fall is here. Now we start judging people, but what is the purpose behind my judgment, right? That is what should be addressed. And how do we implement or how do we judge from that purpose, right? So before I even want to go into judgment, right, I want to talk about why do we people wear masks, not the COVID mask, right? Because kids are here. People always put a mask of who they are not, right? For example, if you see this picture, a person, we do not know what the real person is. We know by the mask he wears, right? And why do we even wear a mask? Because there might be a shame inside of him. He doesn't want to show that shame, right? Or there might be abandonment, or there might be anxiety in him, or many other humiliation, or guilt, or rejected feeling, insecurity, loneliness. These are not the only things, right? But he is wearing a mask because of all this. But the reason why, even with shame, if he is wearing a mask, the reason why he wears a mask is not because he wants to hide it, because he wants to keep himself from being judged, right? That's one of the reasons people wear masks. It's not that he wanted to wear mask. He has been forced to wear mask because he has been judged, right? So why yes, he is forced, and because of the people around him, he wears a mask. Now how do people see him, right? For example, if this is a person who sees this is the actual person, right? But how do he see this person, right? One, in his mind, you see, because he is rejected, he wears a mask of some happiness or some other feeling that he has, shown. He does not see the person. He sees the mask and frames in his mind something about this person. And there might be shame. Because of that, he might have put another mask. And finally, what happens is there is a image. Okay, there is an image of that person just purely created because of how he has seen these masks. But finally, he don't even see that person. He sees only the image what he has created in his mind about the person. So now when he passes the judgment of that person, he is not passing the judgment of what the actual person is, but about the image that he has created in his mind about that person. So whose fault is it? There is no fault in it, right? He is, uh, you know, he is hiding himself from being judged, and the person who sees him sees only what he shows, and he can see only what he shows. And because he has shown some face, right? I mean, a face because of rejection, he has shown some face because of anything he has shown, he has seen only that. So there, most of the people, they judge not the person but the image that they have created in their mind about the person. That's one way. Right now there's another way, right? So finally they respond to the person only to the image of that person that they have created in their mind. Second, the same setup. Now the person sees this person, but this person sees him in his rejection. He does not see him directly because he has been rejected. His mind, he sees through the lens of, that's why I put a small circle. He sees through the lens of rejection, right? And second, he sees through the lens of shame or many other uh, you know attributes that contributes to create that image. And this image is not the image of this person. This image is the image of the person who sees. So he has a preset of, for him, he would have said, okay, this is how people will be. If you ask, they will not be true because of the situations he had gone through. He had seen people that they have not been through. Now he has created an image. People are like this. In this situation, this is how they will behave, and that's how human are. Humankind is like that. And he had created a lens that humankind is like when there is a rejection, that's how they behave. When there is a shame, that's how they behave. And he has created an image. Finally, that person, anyone he sees, he will see only through that lens. And anyone he judges, he can judge only through that lens, right? Finally, again, this person also, finally, you respond to the image you created in your mind. So, judgment in simple, right? The problem, I would say, the problem for this person and the problem for this person is this: he created mask. This he sees only the mask in a lens which he can see. And finally, anyone would judge us. We judge unwisely. The reason I say unwisely is because we do not have the ability to see the person, the actual person. When you see the actual person, you would not judge the way you actually judge, right? So it's the image that you carry in your mind. So I actually tell these things, right? A few years back when I was talking with Satya, God gave me the wisdom to tell her, see, you are seeing me in the image that you have created in your mind, and every time I speak, you filter to that image and respond. But the intention of what I said or what I think might be different. And when I say something, that goes through the filter of how you see me, and you respond to that image, which I will be shocked, like, why are you even talking like this? I did not even mean this. And she said, I know that's how you will respond. Okay, since we are husband and wife, we had an opportunity to sit and talk. And that sometimes does not even happen between husband and wife. But we started talking about it. And then I told her, okay, let me be transparent in whatever I do. Okay, you also be transparent in whatever we do, so that the image that we start created over the years, we will try to knock it off. And that person does not remove the entire image. It will remove frame by frame in an image, right? For example, I have to prove everything. Like, see, she has created an image of me because of 100 reason. She can remove only one reason at a time. She cannot remove all the 100 reason, and she will still, if it comes to, for example, if for some I'm I'm a very short tempered person, right? Everything she comes and talk to me, she thinks twice before she talks to me, because she will always think that I will respond in anger. Though I've come out of it in a long way. Even recently she said, okay, uh, I know that you might respond this way. I said, like, it's been a long time I've responded that way, because it was still there in her mind, right? It's not her fault, it's how that she has conceived in her mind. It's very hard to get away, but that's how people generally do, right? So we judge unwisely because we respond to the image that is created in our mind. So can we judge? But Bible says in 1 Corinthians, do you not know that we shall judge the angels? How much more things that pertaining to this life? So we can judge. But how can we judge? Right? See, that's where we say, can we judge or can we not judge? Should we judge or should we not judge? That's a question. But before we judge, what should we do? The verse is, and do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by renewing of your mind. So what is that renewing of your mind? So the images I have carried about the person, I should remove that. If the person is a very close person, if I am trying to be transparent, if she is trying to be transparent, that gives us an opportunity to be transparent and remove that. But if you do not have that opportunity, most of the time we do not have that opportunity because we are not transparent, or the person who is we are talking with is not transparent. In that way, if we start looking in the lens of a DNA, two DNA, love and compassion, right? Even you don't have to be a Christian for this. I would say you don't have to follow Christ to have love and compassion, because love and compassion is two verses I have written here. One is, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by renewing of your mind. So what is the renewing of your mind? Renewing of your mind is, you have to start seeing, with respect to judgment I'm talking, not with respect to anything else, right? You have to start seeing the person, start trying to see the actual person instead of the mask. But it's very hard to see, right? For you have to see that person, first you have to be transparent and hold that love and compassion. That's what 1 Peter 3:8 says. Finally, all of you be of one mind, right? And having compassion for one another and love as brothers. So when you start loving as brothers, right, when you start having compassion, of course there will be initial glitch. There will be there. It might be there for a day, a week, a year, or even 10 years. In my case, I think I've told this already, but I'll just repeat it for the sake of. I had me and my sister. We did not have very good terms since my childhood, right? And when I came to US, once I was meditating, God said, like, you have to get reconciled with your sister. If you say that you love God and if you hate your brother, the verse says, you. Hmm? Yeah, it's not, you are lying, and it's not actual love, right? So I made a point to reconcile with my sister. It took 12 years for me finally to get reconciled with her, and she also worked on from her part, right? Today we are in a place where we both can talk to each other without any filters. So, and to an extent that, she has given me my number to her son, and if he needs anything, she has asked him to call me. To that extent, even people will talk with each other, they won't put their children in between, right? If she's able to do that, it means that we broke that barrier. The reason is, we started being transparent and started seeing each other instead of the images that we actually carried for each other, right? So if you have that love for others, you will go and you will be able to see the person beyond the image. That's the only essence. It will enable you to see beyond the filters that you have. You might have filter, you still will have filter, but go beyond that filter. That only can be done through that love that you have for that person, right? So now, what are you actually doing when you judge others through love and compassion? First, surround the person with love and compassion. When you surround the person with love and compassion, you are actually providing an opportunity for that person, not for you. When you have renewed mind, when you are renewing your mind, it's okay, but you're giving an opportunity for the person to renew their mind, and that will enable them to remove the mask one at a time, and that person will also become transparent first with you. That's why we should have a closed community. In earlier days, right, there was always a church, right, and people come as a community and they become very transparent with each other, enabling each other. So if they have some problem, they'll be very transparent, saying this is the problem I have. And in today's term, they will say, okay, they don't judge each other, but they judge each other righteous and enable them. They will talk about what he needs rather than condemning him, right? So what if the person, right, the other person whom you are trying to show love, you're trying to show compassion, but still this person is with all things that you judge, say for example, is with lust, with covetousness, is hatred, envy, everything that you could imagine is in that person. The only thing you can do is cover. Oh, I'm not saying that it's very light. Yeah, you cover him with love and compassion. Yes, it's very hard, but you have to cover him with love and compassion. When you do that, you give him an opportunity to renew his mind. This does not mean there is no consequence, right? In even in a court, right? Even if the judge wants to, you know, help him, the person who has done the crime, he will still go through the consequence. But you are delivering, when the victim comes and says, I love you, you are delivering that soul from the eternal content, right? And you are delivering him from that, but he will go through the consequence. So this is what I want to talk about judgment. But there is a beautiful video I have captured. I want to show it as a Kuti story today. Ayyo, stuck it. Is everyone here?
Kentucky, and the sentencing of Trey Alexander Relford. He's pled guilty to the 2015 murder and robbery of Salahuddin Jitmood, a 22-year-old who'd been delivering pizzas. Jitmood was making his final delivery of the night when Relford and two accomplices lured him into their apartment complex.
One second.
And robbed, stabbed.
நான் அதை தான் ட்ரை பண்ணுறேன், வரமாட்டேங்குது. Okay. Yep.
To death.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do. Before Relford receives his sentence, the victim's father, Sambat Jitmood, a school principal and devout Muslim, speaks directly to the man who murdered his son.
Trey Alexander Relford, I feel so sad for you that you have to be in this situation. I wish I could help you as I help my son to be a good citizen. If Salahuddin were to be here, if he alive, he will forgive you. That's the way he was. That's the way he is. I'm not angry at you for being part of hurting my son. I'm angry at the devil. I blame the devil who misguiding you and misleading you to do such a horrible crime. No, I don't blame you. I'm not angry at you at all. I want you to know that. I forgive you on behalf of Salahuddin and his mother.
Before Judge Kimberly Bennell delivered her sentence, there was still one person left to speak.
Mr. Relford, do you wish to make a statement?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry about what happened today. But I do applaud you. Because it takes a powerful man to know that somebody has hurt them. And do what you get up there and say what you just said. I have a child. She's 4. And I can imagine the hurt, the pain. For you to learn. Just tell them later. When I get to everything.
And now it's time for the judge to announce her sentence.
Mr. Relford, an incredibly horrible event happened that has changed the lives of 2 families forever. Nothing can fix it. I am going to accept the Commonwealth's recommendation. Murder, 25 years. And I truly wish for you the very best. Thank you.
So here, right, for what he did, he is getting into the consequence of being in jail for 25 years and also like another 6 years. So 31 years he's been sent to jail, sentenced to prison, right? That's a consequence. But how did the father judge him? He was able to see through beyond what he did. He could have easily put the filter, he's a murderer, right? You could have easily put that filter and you would have said, these people are like that. You could have said that. But when he had that love, he was able to see through the image, pierce through the filter. And that's when we will be able to pass the right judgment. The judgment, when you're able to pass through love and compassion, that will uphold the person. And if you are able to pass through that kind of judgment, that's when you will be in a place to judge others. So that's when even Bible does not say you shall not judge. Again it says judge not. It might seem like it is, both are conflicting, but it's not conflicting. But from the place where you are, you have to judge from the place where you can see through the filter, see through the mask, the actual person, and give a foundation of love, and then judge him. Then whatever judgment you make will help, enable, bind, and build the person. That's when you can pass the judgment. If you are not able to see through love or compassion, that's when you should never judge others. I have another video, but you guys can see that later. That video is about this guy has murdered 48 women, and he does not even know whom he murdered. He doesn't care about it. He just murdered 48 women. The relatives of 48 women, they finally, in the court, everyone will curse, but a father, he will come and say he is a pastor. He made a beautiful statement at the end. He said, that's what I wrote here. Father, Porva. Illa. If you want, I'll just put. Again, it's going to say this. Yeah. So you can just see this is a short video.
With my care.
I will just say, okay, I gave you the background, right?
Mr. Ridgway, how do you plead to the charge of aggravated murder in the first degree as charged on count 1 for the death of Wendy Lee Caulfield?
Guilty.
How do you plead to the charge of aggravated murder in the first degree as charged on count 2?
Guilty. Guilty. Guilty.
It's like he didn't have any remorse at all for what he had done. You know, he killed so many people, he didn't remember who they were, what they looked like. I just couldn't believe that somebody could kill all those people and not remember them.
Neither could the angry relatives of his victims, who were invited to speak in court when Ridgway was sentenced to life without parole on December 18, 2003.
You had said your memory, when it comes to all of the women you took, was gone. Our memory is not. In your words, you said that they didn't mean anything to you, but she meant everything to us.
She was a mother, she was a wife, she was a sister, and we miss her.
Gary Ridgway sat there stone-faced as victims' relatives damned him and mocked him.
He's an animal. I wish for him to have a long, suffering, cruel death.
He's gonna go to hell, and that's where he belongs.
But then the emotionless facade finally cracked when the father of one of his victims appeared to surprise him with a dose of human kindness.
Mr. Ridgway, there are people here that hate you. I'm not one of them. You made it difficult to live up to what I believe, and it is what God says to do, and that's to forgive. You are forgiven, sir.
I'll stop it here, but I love what the father said, right? He said, you made it hard, you made it difficult to live up to what we believe. There are so many things we believe, but it's very hard to put it into life, right? That's one thing. Love, seeing others through love and compassion. We always throw this and put the filter. It's very easy and comfortable for us to look through the filter rather than to look through love and compassion. But when scripture says you have to look through this love, that's what we believe. We'll easily say yes, right? But when it comes to a place where we have to put it in practice, and that to the situation of killing his own daughter, right? When you put it into practice, that's a challenge. But when you put that challenge and go through that, beyond that filter, that's when you are delivering other people. Judgment is to deliver people from where they are and get into better life. So, the summary: judging is not to protect from consequence, but to protect the soul and to provide an opportunity for the person. And make every effort to use the lens of love and compassion to see people. That's it. Thank you.